And just thinking about just life. He said, Dad, we've been living a blessed life. And when I think about how I got here, through effort, through time, and through doing something that's me, I encourage you to do that. Put effort and time in something that's you. Work harder on yourself than on a job. Put the energy on you. Life has no duplicate, and it has no guarantees. Live it on your terms. I wanted to see the world before I left the world. I've been probably to over 50 to 75 countries. And I believe, like Helen Keller, she said, life is either a daring adventure or it's boring. I truly have not lived a boring life. I got my entrepreneurial mindset, my community activist mindset, my seeing myself as an ambassador of hope from my mother, Dorothy Bell Rucker, and Beulah Rucker. And I got having a good time from this dude named Doc Oliver Randolph. That was my father. So that's the only story I heard about him. Okay. I got the best of him and the worst of him. They say he's a clean-cut dude. I mean, he dressed meticulously, and he was a handsome dude, and he was a ladies' man. That's the only stories I heard about him. I have heard a now other story, as Baba would say. But my birth mother, Dorothy Bell, oh my God. She was a teacher. She was a singer. She taught Sunday school, Bible classes. She was a motivational speaker. She inspired and motivated people. She's a bad lady. She was something else, all right? And so I got the best of her and the worst of him. So I'm glad to still be here to serve God and to live a life that's my truth, the real me, not the one that I bought into based upon my environment and my circumstances and things I picked up in the streets. The real me, and living a life of contribution. Made a lot of mistakes, had a lot of failures, a lot of disappointments. But I'm like the lady who said, Lord, I ain't what I want to be, ain't what I'm going to be, and thank God, I sure ain't what I was. And I'm scooting my way to success. My son John Leslie, he's come up with this new concept, scoot your way to success. And so, the other thing is, not only must you do what matters, avoid creating unnecessary drama, do what's you, do you, find something that resonates with your heart, and master it. Master it. But the other thing that's important too, and please listen to me closely, be on a talent hunt. A talent hunt, looking for people who have skills, who have talents, who have abilities that you don't have, who are strong where you are weak. That's important. This is no time to try and do this thing called life by yourself. No time. You want to organize a community of collaborative, achievement-driven, supportive relationships. Become involved with a community of people that's going in your until the end of your presentation. And she said, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. I said, wow. What are the chances that you were there on that day and you and I having this conversation? Look at God. So I know she saw me. I know she was aware of who I became. I don't believe it, I know it, because now I have people that can verify that. When you adopt it, it's like a missing piece to the puzzle, you know. Dorothy Bell, she gave me life, but Mamie Brown taught me how to live life. But there are things that's in me. When I look in the mirror, because of the pictures that I've seen of my birth mother, I can't see but anything but her face. And, oh my God, there she is. And I've always wanted it to. I said, God, let me see a picture. Let me hear a voice. And I have a recording of her doing a poem. And I have a picture of her. And I look at that picture and I look at me. I said, it'd be criminal for her to say, that's not mine. I look like she made me all by herself. So I got my song, y'all heard. I got two brothers and I'm not ashamed. I've got two mothers and I love them just the same. This thing called life. So I was just reflecting. Find something that's you and give it all you have. Live life on your terms. Make yourself stand out. And do what matters. Don't get caught up in the trivial things of life, the busyness of life. Sometimes we can get so busy we think we're being productive, and all we're doing is wasting time. Time is a currency. And do some deep thinking and reflection of who you should be in and out of the pandemic. What does the next greatest version of yourself look like? That's what I'm reflecting on. That's what I'm thinking about. Pouring all that life into the life that my great-grandson Matthew did not get to live. I'm sure he's sitting on the other side with Malik. Go get him, Papa. That's what my grands call me, Papa. I don't know you, but I know this to be true. You're here for a purpose. You were chosen at this point in time to do the greater work, to create a better world for our children and for our children's children, to plant seeds for trees that we will not sit under and gather shade. Because we're here because somebody made a sacrifice. People went to jail, they lost their lives, stripped of everything. So you're not here by any accident, and if you're still breathing, not taking a dirt nap, if you can hear me, God has something else for you to do. I don't know how. Don't worry. Just make yourself available and say, here I am, Lord. Just say yes, as Shekinah Gloria would say. And just pour yourself into the mindset of, Lord, rescue me from myself. Deliver me from myself so that I can live for you. Liberate me. Point me in the direction of my exodus, as Donald Lawrence would say. You have something special. Those are my thoughts, my reflections.
I want to talk about that, writing a new chapter. So you've talked about the little voice that people have, the need to create quiet space to hear that. Combine that with the notion of the culture sort of chipping away at people, and whether it's based on race and oppression, or whether it's just the school system teaching you to be a good cog in the machine, or whatever other things people have to fight against. How can people that are listening to this now, especially if they're an adult that's got all those labels put on them, that's had their creativity squished, what process do they do to hear the voice? What sort of communion can they do to create that imagination that's going to allow them to get out of that and move towards something new?
That's the reason why you designed this program, you and your team, for them to do that they have to expose themselves to something that will give them a different vision of themselves. And in addition to that, they have to put themselves in a community of what I call OQP, only quality people. A gentleman who dramatically transformed my life. I was a junior at Booker T. Washington High School in Miami, Florida, and I went in his class looking for another friend, and he said, go to the board and work this problem out for me. I said, sir, I can't do that. He said, why not? I said, I'm not one of your students. He said, do it anyhow. And the other kids started laughing, saying, he's Leslie, he's DT. And he said, what's DT? His brother is smart, but he's the dumb twin. And I said, I am, sir. And he came from behind his desk and he pointed at me and said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And he taught me three things. He said, if you want to become successful in life, young man, he said, number one, you got to change your mindset. He said, you don't get in life what you want, you get in life what you are. Number two, practice OQP, only quality people. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. I found that out. I left all my broke friends. I said, y'all got to go. Because I used to be so broke, I'd pass a bank and trip the alarm, And the third thing he said, develop your communication skills, because once you open your mouth, you tell the world who you are. He said, those are three major things that you want to work on that will liberate you from living in Liberty City, living in poverty and Overtown. It will help to escape out of where you are right now, because I see you watching me and I know you want more. I can see the hunger in your eyes. That's why my book is about to come out called You Gotta Be Hungry.
I love that notion. I love that title. So how do people get hungry?
You get hungry by finding something that's you. I believe that all of us are born unique, but most of us die copies. You got to find out what is it that turns you on, what resonates with you. One of the things that I realized and what allowed me to become successful as a speaker, the speaking industry has been hijacked by people who speak to sell, and it's okay to do that and make money. I speak to change lives because somebody spoke and changed my life. So this is my passion. This is my drive. This is something that I feel in my heart. And so the key to that hunger-driven life is a heart-centered life. I didn't do what I'm doing for years because of my programming, because of the culture in which I was raised in. I would see other people with degrees and PhDs and MBAs and credentials I don't have, and I convinced myself I couldn't do it. But Mr. Washington, on that day, we became friends, and he taught me not only someone's opinion of you does not have to determine your reality. He said that you have to work on yourself, and you have to have an unstoppable attitude, and no excuse is acceptable, and you've got to make it a priority, a non-negotiable in your life, and hold a constant vision of what it is you want to achieve. See it accomplished, and go all out. Find a way to win. In spite of the setbacks, in spite of the disappointments, in spite of your failures. I tell people when I'm giving presentations, you will fail your way to success. I have a saying, is life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And so those experiences of going after goals that's beyond your comfort zone, and having relationships that will challenge you, and surrounding yourself with coaches and mentors who can take you to a place within yourself that you can't go by yourself, because you can't read the label when you're locked in the box. And so those experiences, they challenge you to go to that next level and continue to move forward in your life, doing new and exciting things that eye has not seen, ear has not heard, nor is in the heart of mankind what God has in store for you when you live a heart-centered life, deciding that you're going to live a life that will outlive you. You're going to live a life that counts, a life that will build a legacy and change the planet. You know, Horace Mann said, we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. And so my goal is to make a major contribution to humankind. I am the father of 10, 5 boys and 5 girls. I'm suing the people who came up with the rhythm method. The rhythm method don't work. You know, I've got rhythm, but the rhythm method does not work. Okay? And I have 15 grandchildren and 4 great-grandsons. And so every day when I get up, my mindset is, what is it that I can do to touch and impact somebody's life today? What is it? What does that look like? Like seeing you. I'm so excited. I started doing push-ups. I said, well, I'm going to go on. He's going to see that I got muscles too.
Man, what you've done with your mental muscles is so extraordinary. I don't know that you need to worry about anything else.
I want to talk to you about this place where we are. Sunday is Easter. And this time to go for and stand there till you get off. So that they don't cramp your style, so that they don't toxify and pollute your mind with their toxic behavior. Yeah, we have to promise ourselves to hold ourselves to a higher standard. We pray as if everything depends upon God, but work as if everything depends upon us. Those are the words of Mary McLeod Bethune. You have something special. A time for new beginnings, to do inventory of yourself, to get access to the unlimited potential that's waiting for you, to tap into it, as Dr. Miles Monroe would say, to rob the cemetery of your dreams, of your gifts, of your leadership, of your books, of your music. Yeah, you're here for a reason. There's something that would not be here. You're a missing piece of the puzzle. God needed your presence here at this point in time for our children and our children's children and for generations yet unborn. The time for new beginnings. What a blessing. We're here all because of God's grace and mercy. I say to you, honor yourself by looking at your life, taking personal inventory, and be honest with yourself. Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And decide that you're going to upgrade your environment. Your environment affects you. Your environment, it can change you. Your environment matters. It begins to affect how you see yourself, and how you see yourself will be represented in your thoughts and your actions and the achievements that you make or you don't make.
This is a time that requires new skills, new thinking, and a hunger to live your greatest life.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. I want you to like this page and share it. I got a message for you. There's something that's on my mind. I want to share with you on this beautiful, beautiful day. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. I want you to think about the fact that this is the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter. And I want you to think about finishing strong and preparing for 2023. And something that I'm encouraging you to do, and I want you to like this page and share it. I want you to ask yourself some questions. And just about three. One of them, where you are right now. Is it what you anticipated when you started the year off? Is it alignment with your resolutions? Because if you follow what I'm going to share with you, if you are willing to give up who you've been, the negative people, the thoughts, and the choices that's produced what you now have, if it does not measure up to your level of expectation. And you know, as Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing in the same way, expecting a different outcome. If you want to create a different outcome, you got to do some things differently. You got to change some relationships. You got to do what Celeste Johnson say, Operation Clean Slate. You got to get some people out of your life. You got to come out from among the people where you are. You know, people who earn $15, $20, $30, $40, $50,000, $100,000 a month don't hang out with people who earn $5,000 and $7,000 a month. No, you got to upgrade your relationship and let some people off because they don't want what you want. They don't dream like you dream. I remember in Chicago, I used to give this lecture at Christ Universal Temple Church, and I saw this guy come, and his wife was seated on one side, and he was on the other. And I asked him, I said, man, I said, why aren't you over there with your wife? He said, well, she left me because she said, I don't want anything. I said, I'm sorry to hear that. And as I was approaching her, she said, I heard what he said. She said, I didn't leave him because he didn't want anything. I left him because he wasn't willing to do the things necessary to grow so we can create a different kind of life than what we had. He settled for where we are. And I know we can do better. He's smart. He's intelligent. But he doesn't have hunger. He doesn't have drive. He doesn't have perseverance. He doesn't want any more than what we now have. And I don't want to settle for that. I know we can do better than this. And I'm tired of arguing. Have you ever just got tired of arguing with someone that's supposed to be leading you and they're in the back doing nothing but the same thing over and over and over again? Have you ever looked at where you are and just said, this is not me? That's what I did in Miami, in Liberty City, Overtown. I just said, look, Good Bread Alley and Bucket the Blood, the expressway goes through that now. That's gone. I just said, there's got to be more. Have you, let me see some signs. Let me see some fire. Have you ever said there's got to be more? I remember cleaning homes and cleaning apartments on Miami Beach. And I just said, one day I'm going to be able to stay here and not just come over here to clean up. Woo! And I've stayed in several places, several condos, hotels, and whatsoever you can think of. See, life is about having the courage to make your life a daring adventure. Live before you die. Life ain't playing with us. Decide that you're going to take life on. Stormy, I like to refer to her as Dr. Stormy Wellington. She had an event this past weekend for women. Girl, hold my hand. And it was an eye-opener. It was one that caused the women there to dream a bigger dream. Most people don't have any dreams at all. They're just working to survive. What it takes to live and what it is required for surviving are two different things.
These are people that, you know, I'm taking a chance on me. I don't know if I'm going to make it or not, but I'm going to walk by faith and not by sight. I'm reaching for the greater in me. Greater is he that's in you than he that's in the world. I'm willing to upgrade my relationships. I'm willing to step away from the life that I've been living so that I can begin to create the life that I deserve. Have you ever seen people and you ask yourself the question, how can they live like that? Here's what I learned. When you stay in a toxic, negative environment over a long period of time, you have to ask yourself the question, what kind of person have I become because of this? Because that abnormal environment will become your new normal. You stay there long enough, you won't even realize at some point in your life you'd have found that repulsive. I had an apartment that I had near the airport, and I rented it from a friend of mine, Jackie Collier. And I said, girl, I can't stay here. Look at these airplanes coming over constantly. She said, you stay here long enough, I guarantee you won't hear it. She did not lie. And people who would come visit me say, how can you stay here? And these airplanes flying constantly, don't you hear it? And I said, no, because I'd been there so long, I had tuned it out. You can be in an abusive relationship so long that it becomes your new normal. You can be in a situation and an environment that's beneath you, and you be there so long that